if you remember playing pretend when you were a kid, like playing games like Cops and Robbers, or if you're like me, Cowboys and Indians, if you remember doing that, it's essentially the same thing, but with rules attached to it.
It kind of takes actually a lot of inspiration from a variety of different sources. So there's a little bit of board games, a little bit of, original gaming, a certain degree of acting to it as well. But I feel like there's really no way to really understand what a tabletop RPG is unless you play one.
My name's Adrian Willarego. I've been playing tabletop RPGs since I was 8, so 12 years, most of my life. I've been playing tabletop RPGs.
Hello, I am James S., science fiction writer, game designer, sometimes time traveler.
My name's Peyton G., third year student at Northeastern. I've been playing tabletop RPGs since sophomore year of high school, so I guess that would be about 5-6 years.
There are a lot of different ways to roleplay. Generally, we use dice. It's a good way of determining a random integer at any given time. I mean, the most basic one and the most well-known one is the D20 system, where you have a 20-sided die. You roll that and you add it with a number on a character sheet. There's a different type of system, which I call success systems, where you take a good number of dice, it can be D10s or D6s, and 2 of those numbers will be successes, and then the rest are just failure.
I definitely got into RPGs because, well, as a younger kid, I played a lot of video games with my older brother, and then my older brother got into RPGs, and so I just kind of followed him. But then they became less of a, like, kind of an activity when I was like a teenager, and more of just something, it was a different way to express myself. So I could be someone who I'm not, which is kind of interesting.
It's like being in a book or a movie. It's like being a character in that book or movie or TV show or radio show. And it's essentially making stories with your friends.
You can literally do whatever you want in the right RPG system, and you can have as many of adventures as you want that are completely different from one another, and that's something that the game is always fresh, the game is always new, and so that's definitely kept me interested for the 12 years of my life.
My favorite fantasy novels have always been the ones that really, do a lot of great world building and character development. So playing tabletop RPGs like D&D really gave me an opportunity to do that, and to do that with friends.
It's a way to explore yourself really with friends. It's a way to get together with friends. It's a way to understand more about your friends than you would ever really want to know sometimes. Sometimes it's a way to know exactly what you want to know about your friends. It's a way to figure out who you are, sort of.
So there's this homebrewed RPG system out of the Bay Area that I've been playing it since I was 11, and this is a system that somebody created all on their own, and that was about 30 years ago, and it's a whole universe that's just progressed from 30 years ago to the time that I started playing, and I actually was able to, we blew something up, and that kind of lasted throughout. It's still there to this day in this weird meta universe in the game, and so that was probably the most interesting thing I've done in an RPG, where other people now to this day can go to this place in this game and find a giant crater that I made.
Once upon a time, I played a campaign, me and a few other friends, and one player was, really quite devoted to the concept of, screwing things up as much as possible. So, because D&D gives you this sense of freedom, and I guess a lack of hard rules that no other game can provide, this player would just go around killing innocent people in-game and desecrating, holy objects and just generally messing around. So for one example, we were, doing typical D&D stuff, exploring a dungeon, and we found, a mysterious magic book. Now, you don't have to play D&D to know that, magic, ominous-looking books should probably be avoided. So naturally, this character decides to unzip his pants and, take a piss on the book. Our DM obviously wasn't too pleased with that, so he took the player, threw him into the book, and kind of kept him there for, I guess, what he perceived to be 1,000 lifetimes, all at the same time. And I suppose just telling the story right now maybe just makes D&D sound really weird and creepy and slightly perverted. But when you're playing with friends and you get sucked into the story and you're all really kind of believing that you are the character and your friends are the characters and your DM has created a comprehensive world, these kind of moments are kind of what give D&D that kind of sense of spontaneity that you can't find in any other game.